like Protoss against the long time ago, like on some island maps, because it was stronger with like the river and Corsair. Like there's some like particular maps where you can like practice some matchups.
All right, boys, it's time. Look at PVT ratio right there. I don't know, Kev.
But Reload is a brave man. It's a very bold move to go out on PVT on this map. Let's see how it plays out for him. Over here on Dust House, we're looking at the main base of the Swedish captain. It is Moro, the man who has played every single race in StarCraft 2.
One of the sickest race switchers of all time.
And now in the bottom we have the blue Terran Marine Lord. Hopefully he's gonna be able to get a victory for our team. That'll be nice.
And break the Elky curse. You know, Elky, every single time that you do the introduction, you always introduce the other player, right? The other nation. You never introduce the French player.
Yeah, maybe that's the secret.
Maybe this is the secret. Now you finally introduced the French player. And maybe this is where the Elky curse
but
gets
Marine
broken.
played really well against Mana. Actually, I was watching yesterday, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that was
a pretty good
played
game.
really well, yeah.
Yeah, very good game.
On this map, though, early game aggression can be tricky to pull off against a solid Protoss. You know, that's going to be on point with the overcharges and like be able to see everything. But I wonder actually what Moro will play like here. Does he already feel like he's an underdog and tries to cheese, or do you think he takes it to a longer game, like 3-4 bases maybe?
Yeah. I think he wants to take it to a longer game. The only thing where I think this map becomes very difficult for Protoss is 4 bases and more scenario where they will have the Liberator upgrade. I have no idea what it's called, but basically, you know...
Advanced ballistics,
Yeah, really?
I think.
Damn, Todd, you're on point. So once they research that, you can basically put liberation zones away from half across the screen, if not a full screen away, and there's no such thing anymore as blinking in a couple stalkers forward and sniping a liberator. And I think that's when this map becomes very good for Terran. But that's obviously not something we have to worry about in the first 10 minutes of this game. You have to get there first, and that's not easy, because this could be a very good map as well for some crazy War Prism play, or maybe even Oracles.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is though, I talked about this before, Marine Lord against Protoss, his defense to almost everything is really good. He gets a Cyclone which can shut down any kind of Oracle or War Prism play, and it's very hard to do any damage against him. Every single time he will open with that quick factory that we're seeing here. And I think if Moro has some sort of a plan where he's going to be playing a whole bunch with like War Prism and all that, one of the only ones that I could see working here is if he goes like something like 4 Adepts in a War Prism and 7 Gates. That maybe could work if somehow he was able not to lose the War Prism instantly, but if he does, then it's over.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it that much, right? Like, he just got a very, very important victory for his nation already.
Yeah.
So you could say he has absolutely nothing to lose over here, and he may just be like, you know what, I'm going all in, you know, it's everything or nothing. Hell or glory over here. And a 7, well, that's a pretty quick robo thought, so it's still an option. And if you catch your opponent off guard and you put Sweden up 2-0, well, then everybody in this studio will start sweating truly, and a couple tears will be shed. I can already see this.
We'll have to save the day once more.
That would be a very magical story. You remember Korea against the rest of the world?
Oh yeah.
Ilias
Almost did it alone.
A long time ago, there was a show match during IPO in Las Vegas. The rest of the world against Korea, and the rest of the world was down like 0-4, and then Stefano came up and he killed 4 Koreans in a row. I think he lost the final match, right?
Yeah, and he almost won the last match too. He was, I think, against Squirtle, but like before that, he beat Life and like all these guys.
MC as well.
Everyone was like, "What the hell?"
He played MC on Daybreak. I won't forget that game. So
I remember the Koreans actually talking about it, and like basically they were saying like, "How is Stefano so good?" Like, I don't understand.
Well, nobody really understood it. Like, I had Stefano stay with me once in America for 2 weeks straight. And I was like, all these stories about Stefano not practicing, it's all a lie. You know, I can't wait to see him play every single day. He just didn't play a single game. Until the last day, I was like, Ilias, man, like, you've got a big tournament next week. You should really play. And then I went to work and I came back. At the end of the day, I looked at his ladder profile. He went 3-7 on the American server. I asked him about it. He's like, yeah, I went 3-7. I lost to Desbro. I think I'm ready. I was like, Ilias, you're so sick. So the next morning, he travels to Sweden and wins the European Championships, $30,000. I was like, this kid makes no sense at all. 2 weeks long, every day he just wanted to go out, not play any StarCraft, not practice, flies to Sweden and wins the entire thing. I was just like, this doesn't make any sense. Talking about, how would you call it, WCS 2012, I think that was back then, when he beat Vortex in the final. Showed up with his white t-shirt, the legendary
His luggage was lost,
yeah,
you know that? His luggage was lost. completely white T-shirts, like no team uniform, because he was in his luggage.
He stayed
It
in
looked so funny. Like he looked like he was so out of place, but then he won.
He stayed in America for 2 weeks. He played like 10 games total, maybe like 20 or 30 over 2 weeks. But the last game he played like 10 games. Just wants to go out all the time. Flies to Sweden. His flight gets postponed. Arrives later, loses his luggage, and wins the tournament. Like, like if you tell that story to people, they won't believe it.
It's like the opposite of Solar. Solar played like 1,500 games in 2 weeks.
Hey, by the way, Marine Lords killed the Observer that was across the map, and that saw the third CC. And Moro, going with the double forge here, it looks like he doesn't want to be aggressive. He's just going to be upgrading, getting a lot of adepts, I'm guessing, and trying to play a longer game, looks like. Another Observer actually finding its way across the map.
Double Forge is also a pretty cool thing to see, because I feel a lot of Protoss players are almost forgetting about the Forge so far in Legacy. Like, of course, the game hasn't been really figured out yet, and people don't exactly know when do I squeeze in a Forge, you know?
Actually, he wants to be aggressive. Look at this. Moro's moving out.
Yeah, but if you have double Forge, I think it's more to scare your opponent rather than actually committing to it, right? I mean,
I don't think so. I think like with the way he's warping in and moving across the map, like it looks more like he means it. It's going to be very important for that Cyclone of Marine Lord. Where is it?
I think it's very...
To shut down the War Prism, because if he doesn't, and we have adepts in every single base, then I think he's going to be in so much trouble.
He needs to raise the depot. If these adepts get on top of the tanks, that's where things get very tricky. No,
he
he's
doesn't
not gonna
cancel.
do that.
Oh!
What? What?
Moro!
I don't know, man.
I don't know, Kev.
This isn't looking all that good for Moro right now.
That was pretty bad.
Oh my god, no! Everything's going wrong. I mean, you might be able to sneak in like 4 or 5 adepts to the back of the main base.
And behind this, more gateways are going to go down. Moro is supposed to restart another War Prism, but he hasn't yet. He's getting an Observer.
Some magical way, he's still killing 11 SCVs, which is insane, considering the fact how bad that start was of that. But let's take a look at units lost resources and see if that was actually worth it or not. 1900 resources lost for Moro against 782 for Marine Lord.
Yeah, well,
You're not very worth it. I mean, like,
73 probes to 49 SCVs.
That is true. But how can he deal with the counterattack?
Yeah, at this stage of the game, losing 10 SCVs is not that
Oh my
bad.
god, look at
You would just 3 bases with the mules. It's not.
Moro drops a second Robo Bay, and a Stargates. And he made it like a very unhealthy amount of gateways.
If
like
I'm Marine Lord right now, he has double Starport on the way, but I would love to see Marine Lord move out soon and put some pressure. Like, you made all these tanks, so let these tanks pay for themselves. I guess it's risky to go across the map if you don't have Medivacs.
I think it's better to wait for Liberators for sure, like Liberators and Medivacs, and then like you're sure that you can't really lose the fight. Like we saw it against Mana, like, and even like Mana put up a hell of a fight. I think if Marine Lord just waits for that, uses his triple starport well, he's still going to be in a really good position here to win this.
Like Elky makes a good point, and I do agree with it, that like losing 10 SCVs in this phase in the game is not as deadly as losing it a lot earlier. You're on triple CC, you got a bunch of mules. But Moro is very greedy. Todd just said it, that's why he dropped all those big buildings. He has double force, he has a lot of big upgrades on the way. Templar Archives going down, he's on 76 workers, it's almost too much. He's going to be able to saturate his fort base very quickly. In that case, I don't know, maybe Marine Lord should do something. He plays PvT, or TVP, excuse me, so passive.
Where are the fusion core at, man?
You wanna do a cheeky fusion core dance? Saw you dance last night, Todd. Not bad.
Did I?
No.
Oh, there it is, by the way.
Did I? Question mark.
Fusion core going down here is gonna be for that extra range upgrade.
Man, we need to bring the night back. I wanna see a big live crowd do the fusion core dance one more time. If he would have finished that one too, I would have absolutely lost it. I would have stood up from the casting deck and just leave.
But actually, Moro is not in a bad spot compared to like how many adepts he lost in that one.
But the only thing is that if they fight in a straight up engagement, there is no DPS in this army anymore. Like adepts are very good when the army supplies are kind of small, but the moment that the Terran army goes like 165, 170, 180, it becomes very hard for adepts to be extremely useful.
So what are we gonna transition into?
These shades.
Disruptors, Storm.
Cancel, yeah, okay.
Like, he can get a little bit of everything, and having a couple of adepts is absolutely not bad, but he needs a real army. He's getting +1 air weapons already, which
looks like, by
Tempest,
the way,
I guess.
More, yeah, he wants to go for Tempest, but if you look at what both armies are like, I think Moro will get trashed in a fight.
Yeah, right now he would, but if you look at 4 or 5 Disruptors and like 5 or 6 Tempest, then it's a completely different ballgame, right?
So Moro wants to
Stasis.
do the same thing, or like a similar thing that we saw in the previous game, but instead of having Stalkers this time, he's got a lot of Adepts. But he wants to basically dominate the ground with Disruptors and then have some uncontested Tempests.
Hey, that's a really big pickup, because if that Oracle would have dropped Stasis, that could have really slowed Marine Lord down and would have bought a lot of time for the Tempest. Freedom.
Never lucky. Maybe able to pull back on
Can you fight
time
here?
here, Moro.
Can Moro fight here?
He needs to dodge the Disruptors. Moro shouldn't really commit. Okay, he has to go back right now. These Disrupt shots are not going to be good
he killed
enough.
it before.
Moro is going to lose so much. He's going to lose everything, I think, over here. This is not a good fight for him at all. There's no DPS.
Yeah, those forfeits were not very useful either. They're like,
Nope. I loved it, man. No respect shown by Marine Lord. He's like, you got Disruptors, that's fine. I'll
Nice
eat them for
Hurts.
breakfast. Alright, now he needs to put on a lot of pressure. Don't be too slow, because Tempests are super good against both tanks and Liberators. So Marine Lord should show no respect here and just go for it. Run up, and as long as you avoid the Disruptors, or at least they won't kill your entire army, you're going to be fine. The Tempests are slowly but steady chipping away at the army of Marine Lord, though.
That Observer behind is
Oh,
getting
God.
some sick vision.
Oh, man. Marine Lord needs to go. He needs to,
go,
like,
yeah.
It's go time. I don't know what he's waiting for. Maybe he's afraid there's a bunch of Disruptors. There is one,
Nope.
but it's not going to do nearly enough.
Decent split there. A few more disrupt shots going down, but they're not connecting with the units that they have to connect with. So I think this is the moment that Marine Lord will be able to put some serious pressure on that fort base and even take it out. That got very close at a certain moment there. A couple Zealots being walked in, but it shouldn't be enough. Eusebio, Alexi!
It's your time, baby. The Elky curse.
yes, let's do it.
He introduced Marine Lord.
Terran wins one game. So sick. So exciting.
Front wins. Well, Archons actually, well, they will say no to it, but there's just no backbone to Moro's army. That's the biggest problem that he currently has. He has nothing to fall back on, no Storm, plus 3
Tempests are
upgrades.
dying,
Yeah, they were just not ready in time.
Not many medivacs to heal, but I don't think it should matter. Marine Lords just got way too much. Tempest trying to do what they can. Archons and Zealots as well. Marine Lord splitting as well as he can.
What are the upgrades from Marine Lord? Okay, he's
2-2,
up
I think.
2-2. So I guess he had even upgrades for the majority of this battle. A lot of the medevacts very low on HP. Moro trying to squeeze out as many units as he can, and it is getting a little close though. These Zealots have 3-3 upgrades now. Time Warp is going to go down as well. Photon Overcharge helping out a little bit. Moro, does Marine Lord
the
know about
Disruptors.
Moro's 5th base? Yeah, he should run right now actually.
Actually, it's funny.
But he's not even mining.
Moro's not even mining from that base.
If he was mining from that base, that would have been a big problem.
Now he's mining.
Moro has a full upgraded Ventus, basically 2 upgrades ahead now. That's a pretty damn big deal. And Moro has all the infrastructure a Protoss could dream of.
Don't jinx it, buddy. Elky was so happy.
I'm so happy, but yeah, it's like, it's actually very close. It's
Yeah. Moro is doing a very
like
good
Marine
job.
Lord was like engaging really well in all the fights.
He's
but
re-expanding
then it's still not, it's still not really that ahead.
I think against this army, it's very important that you go for drops. You need to kill observers, and I think you want to start dropping. Oh, that's a decent disruptor hit. The second one is decent as well. I don't think he can fight this. Archon Zealots, there's almost no bio units over here. Well, there's a couple more streaming in. Disruptors are very scary though. Oh god, Marine Lord. Marine Lord!
No!
Stop fighting.
Yeah, I think you want to drop
Pull
against this
back
army.
and get some Vikings. I don't know. Like,
This is a super immobile army though, don't you agree, Todd? Like Tempest, Disruptor, Archon,
Yeah.
it's horrible to defend against drops.
it reminds me of this one time SOS tried to go for Tempest against Innovation on Neo Planet S, and Innovation just like dropped all over the place. I think if right now Marine Lord started doing this, it would be so great for him. This Warpism, by the way, scares me across the map.
The scan is a little deceiving, man. Moro is actually almost taking a supply lead now, despite being down 40-50 supply earlier. Marine Lord, you gotta do some work with this double drop. Is there Mothership Core remade? Did he remake one? I don't think he did, right? Oh, he did.
It's in the natural. So I guess he can send that to the main and use a bunch of overcharge. There's even some
Kill the
disruptor there.
disruptor. Oh no! Oh god.
Oh, he tried to kill it before, but failed.
Well, he's gonna have to avoid that disruptor shot. He can still do something, but 5 or 6
Oh,
bio units,
two Liberators flew into the Tempest in mid-map.
and they survive.
Yeah, they got away, but that looked really bad here for a second.
Actually, he's still killing quite a bit with his
Yeah,
drop,
like
not
see,
bad.
this is just a single drop, and it even took so much damage from one Liberator hit. The scan is gonna go down now, and Marine are looking at that army, maybe not respecting
Does he know
it.
about that
Fifth
base
base.
on right
No,
hand
I don't
side?
think he did. You can check it.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
No, he's
Yeah,
never.
but like I mean, can he sense that it could be there? No, apparently. Wants to siege that one.
But look at how much
Oh,
this
base
drop
trades?
did. No.
Moro's moving across the map.
No, you can't base trade against a Terran. You're signing your own death sentence.
Moro wants to base trade here.
Oh.
He's just gonna move across the map to try and fight, catch a huge chunk of this army and defend back at home
And
with
the-
whatever is remade.
And the probes that were like left from that nexus on the right side, they were actually heading down, which should tip Marine Lord off that there is another base over there. I think this base trade scenario is very, very promising for Marine Lord and for France. Morris is taking like all these nexuses right now. He's noted. This army is so trapped. Like, what the hell is he gonna do with this army, Todd?
What he can.
Baby rage.
Yeah, how many shots does he have on the Disruptor? I guess 3 more.
Oh, here come the Liberators. Liberation zones being spread all over the place. These Stampers are going to fall as well. That's a sick engagement for Marine Lord, and he's going to clean up this entire army of Moro.
Yeah, that was kind of weird of Moro to like pull back on this side of the map and
Marine Lords.
spread his army. Like,
He should definitely fly his main base elsewhere to like a new base, but he instead, I guess he made another CC already, so he's gonna fly that to a 5th base.
Gets a juicy Oracle kill there as well. I
And
thought-
now Marine Lord in upgrades, he's 3-3, and he's got +2 as well for the Liberators and Vikings.
And he's got something ballistics, right? Todd?
Yes,
Yeah,
advanced
yeah, it's
ballistics.
good for Marine Lord now.
Moro!
it's very good. Marine Lord should not lose this. No matter what happens over here, Liberation zones. The Disruptor hits may be big. Actually, not a single Disruptor is shooting right now. I'm not sure why.
Marine Lord this time is doing it as screamed his last time, but it was a little bit too early.
Yeah.
Here we go, boy. Steam forward for France.
Stim for the win as he's taking out gateways, pylons, and Moro probably regretting marching across the map with his army. Put up a very good fight though, and of course he got an important victory before, so it's not the end of the world for Moro. But right now we're gonna tie things up. France against Sweden is going to be 1-1.
GG! Finally a win. Oh, shit it.
Broke
Nice,
the
good job,
curse,
Marine
broke the
Lord.
Yoki curse.
Nice.
The dream is alive, one time.
Alive. That was a really great game too. Actually, it was really fun, and yeah, I feel like Marine Lord was like crushing, and then he kind of came back to even, and I guess Moro's army composition was kind of like
So Terran is
surprising
OP,
too, because he had like a bit of everything more, right? And then he went, but actually he took a lot of bad fights earlier.
Yeah.
Like when he like didn't cancel the adept, and he lost like 5 of them, and then like,
So what do you think about Terran? OP?
what the hell? No, he's like.
It's really
Why not
funny
play well?
because Protoss can get up to this army where it becomes almost impossible for the Terran to engage. But that's why you should just not engage it. Like, you don't want to run into Disruptors, Tempest, Oracle that's going to attack your army, Archons, Zealots, and close to a Warp-in pylon. Like, that just becomes very, very difficult. But the moment he started dropping, I think that's when things started to tip in favor of Marine
Yeah,
Lord.
because even if he lost like a lot in his first drop, he killed a lot with like more a lot.
This guy's
and
not
then-
bad at Photoshop, actually.
Is that Photoshop? I don't see it.
We got baguette skin, mate.
Oh, I don't see it. I thought it was real. And also, I feel like because of the drop, I almost feel that Moro panicked a little bit, and then he lost his 4th base, and then just ran across the map.
Yeah, it was,
really
he
weird.
like said it was really weird actually what he did with his army. He just like stood there with half his army because he was not doing that bad at that point. But
No.
his army was just completely spread out, and then
Tricky game. Todd is rewatching the broadcast. Couple minutes of
I
delay.
wanted to watch these last fights and stuff, and how Moro like got trapped on the map. It was really weird.
I mean,
he
like,
trapped himself. He didn't get
Yeah,
trapped.
like-
He just went there like, and then
it's really funny
I
as
don't
well.
I don't understand the plan.
No, me neither. Like, it's like he wants to base trade, but he doesn't have any probes on this side of the map. He has no pylon and he has no prism. And earlier, when Moro played against Pig, Moro actually could have won that game against Pig if after he killed the 4th base, he had either a warp prism, which he lost before, or a pylon, or just go back. But he's like, Protoss is not the type of race that can just stay on the other side of the map forever without a way to reinforce. You know, our reinforcements are very slow.
I think there was a few instances, in particular during Moro versus Lilbo, where he was very eager to fight, and it was good for him. But in this very instance, like, it was so bad.
yeah. No,
Sometimes
no.
you need to learn to, you know, slow down.
I wasn't talking
Hit
about
the
the
brakes.
PvP. I wasn't talking about the PvP. The
Yeah,
PvP
yeah, I
Moro
know.
was great. Like, I loved everything he was doing. He played better than Lilbo. And in this game, he also put up a very good fight. I mean, a couple of weird moves with the Adepts early on. Either way, it's all tied up. I guess we're getting ready for a quick break, and then we are going to continue. Or do we know who's going to play? Maybe we know who's going to play first.
Yeah, we're supposed to find out, I
Yes.
think, before we go to break.
What do you think?
Let me see the
I
map.
think they're
Sort of?
saving sort of for the last. Do you think or?
I think it's Brian
Orbital
Terrace's-
Shipyard
Oh.
and then Prey on Terraces. So maybe, but sort of can just look at these two maps and be like,
Which one do I prefer?
yeah, and Mini Razor, what do you think as well? Even though his opinion is probably irrelevant in this case. But
It's tricky because Prime Terraces, you know, a lot of people talk about the gold bases, but I think in ZVT that's a little different. So I actually think maybe Orbital Shipyard is a slightly better map. I think it's difficult for Terran to secure the fourth base there, so I'm expecting Sword Up over here. If I'm Sword Up, I would rather play on Orbital Shipyard than Prime Terraces, but that's just me. We'll see. What do you think right now?
Yeah, I think Sotov is gonna play.
Mini
Nope.
Razor.
Never lucky.
He's gonna be.
So sick. Just like running so bad in life, right now, okay?
Oh man, brutal actually. Like a flip, I never win a flip ever.
All right, Johan.
Right.
What do you think? 1-1? It's going to be a great match?
Yeah, I think Marine Lords should be able to take this one on Orbital Shipyard and.
Yeah, I want
put
to see some
friends
Terran
ahead
action.
too.
Some Terran action. Nice. It's rare to see Terran wins nowadays.
All right.
That's bad.
Well, we're going to throw to a very small break, and after that, we'll be back with the third map of this NationWars between France and Sweden. Who's going to be the second group to advance from, second nation to advance from this group? We'll find out soon. Stay tuned.